Welcome back to Science Meets Adventure, exploring nature's secret. Today, our journey takes us to the heart of Central Africa, where deep green forest meets raw fire, and the sky is stained with a faint reddish glow. Rising above the landscape of the Democratic Republic of Congo is Nyiragongo Volcano, a dark pyramid of rock that holds one of the most extraordinary sights on Earth. A vast, boiling lake of lava, glowing like a living ember inside its summit crater. Few volcanoes possess a liquid heart like this, and even fewer behave with such unpredictable and dangerous power. As the camera rises in a wide drone shot over the Virunga Mountains, the outlines of neighboring peaks fade into mist, but Nyiragongo stands out. Wisps of gas drift from the summit like smoke from a giant chimney. From this height, you can see how the volcano dominates everything around it. Villages cling to its lower slopes, fields of bananas and coffee spread across its fertile flanks, and far in the distance, the dark waters of Lake Kivu shimmer under a hazy sun. It is a beautiful scene, but it is also a reminder that millions of people live in the shadow of a restless giant. Nyiragongo sits on the East African Rift, a great tectonic scar where the African plate is slowly splitting into two. As the crust stretches and thins, molten rock from the mantle finds easier paths upward, feeding a chain of volcanoes that extends for thousands of kilometers. Over hundreds of thousands of years, eruptions built the cone of Nyiragongo, layer by layer, sheet by sheet, until it rose more than 3,400 meters above sea level. But what makes this volcano so unusual is not just its size or location. It is the strange chemistry of the magma that bubbles beneath it. Most lavas around the world are thick and sticky. They ooze slowly, piling up into domes or crawling across the landscape like hot, sluggish mud. Nyiragongo's magma is very different. It is a rare kind of low silica, high alkali basalt that can behave almost like liquid metal. Because it is so low in viscosity, it can flow incredibly fast, draining out of cracks and racing down the mountain at speeds that are hard to imagine. During the 1977 eruption, lava spilled from fresh fissures and surged downslope faster than a person could run. Villages were overwhelmed in minutes. For volcanologists, this eruption became a textbook example of why Nyiragongo is considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes on the planet. Inside the summit crater, this peculiar magma gathers into an enormous lava lake. Imagine standing on the rim at night, looking down nearly 600 meters into a pit, glowing red and orange. The surface of the lake is constantly moving. Giant plates of cooling crust form and break apart, drifting like dark continents on a sea of fire. Along the edges of these plates, bright lines of molten rock open and close, tracing patterns that look almost like cracks of lightning frozen on the surface. This motion is driven by convection. Hotter, lighter magma rises from deep below, while cooler, denser magma sinks, forming slow, circulating cells. The physics is similar to water boiling in a pot, but here the water is molten rock at more than 1,000 degrees Celsius. The lava lake is not a calm feature. It is a barometer of the volcano's mood. When magma supply increases from below, the lake level rises, sometimes climbing tens of meters in a matter of months. When supply decreases or new fractures open in the cone, the lake can suddenly drain, sending rivers of lava racing down slope. The eruptions of 1977 and 2002 both began with rapid drops in the lake level as magma escaped through cracks in the flank. In 2002, these flows cut straight through the city of Goma, destroying homes, shops, and entire neighborhoods. Black ridges of solidified lava still run through the city streets today, a dark reminder of how closely human life here is tied to the mountain's internal plumbing. From the air, Nyiragongo's most visible features are its crater and lava lake. But another, less obvious danger spreads around it: volcanic gas. The volcano constantly exhales a mixture of gases, including water vapor, sulfur dioxide, and carbon dioxide. Of these, carbon dioxide is the most treacherous. Because it is heavier than air, it does not always disperse upward into the sky. Instead, it can slide down slopes and settle into low areas, forming invisible ponds of air that contains little or no oxygen. Locals call these deadly pockets mazuku, or evil winds. People and animals that wander into them can quickly become dizzy, lose consciousness, and die without ever seeing a warning sign. The physics is simple but merciless. The heavier gas displaces breathable air at ground level, and lungs trying to inhale oxygen receive only suffocating CO2. Scientists working around Nyiragongo measure gas emissions with sensors and drones, mapping the places where mazuku tend to form. Their data is used to warn communities and guide park rangers. But the threat can never be fully eliminated. In the villages scattered across the volcano's flanks, parents teach their children not to sleep in low-lying depressions or near certain cracks in the ground. Life here requires constant awareness of hazards that are both spectacular and invisible. Now the journey shifts from science to experience. We begin the trek to Nyiragongo's summit at the edge of Virunga National Park. Rangers lead the way, carrying radios and rifles to protect trekkers from both wildlife and human threats in a region that has seen its share of conflict. The path starts in lush montane forest, where sunlight filters through broad leaves and the calls of monkeys echo from the canopy. The air is warm and humid, filled with the scent of earth and vegetation. As the camera moves along the trail, close-up shots capture moss-covered trunks, colorful birds flitting between branches, and small flowers growing from cracks in old lava. As we gain altitude, the forest gradually thins. Tall trees give way to scrub and hardy shrubs adapted to cooler temperatures and rocky soil. Dark lava flows from past eruptions line the trail, twisted into bizarre shapes. The drone pulls back to show our small group ascending a long slope of black rock, with the broad plain of the East African Rift stretching into the distance behind us. Clouds drift below the summit, and for a moment, we are walking through a world of gray mist and sharp stone. Reaching the crater rim is like arriving at the edge of another planet. The temperature drops, the wind strengthens, and suddenly the ground seems to fall away into an enormous void. Far below, the lava lake glows like a furnace. Even from hundreds of meters above, the heat radiates upward, carried by rising convective plumes. At night, the scene becomes truly otherworldly. The surrounding landscape fades into darkness, and the only light comes from the molten rock, painting the clouds above in shades of red and orange. The lava bubbles, cracks, and surges with a deep, rhythmic roar. As if the earth itself were breathing, camping on Nyiragongo is a rare privilege. Simple shelters along the rim allow visitors to stay overnight, watching the lake change hour by hour. The camera lingers on the faces of trekkers illuminated by the red glow, on hands holding mugs of hot tea in the cold mountain air, on the distant silhouettes of neighboring volcanoes under a sky scattered with stars. This is the core of our series, the moment when scientific understanding and raw emotion meet, when you feel both very small and deeply connected to the planet beneath your feet. Descending the volcano the next day, we return to the human world. In Goma, life pulses in markets crowded with vendors selling fruit, vegetables, grilled fish, and bright fabric. Children play football on fields bordered by black lava walls. Restaurants serve sombi, cassava leaves cooked slowly with spices, alongside grilled tilapia from Lake Kivu and plates of ugali, the maize-based staple that feeds much of East Africa. In every bite, you can taste the fertile power of the volcanic soil, which turns ash and rock into crops that sustain entire communities. Beyond the city streets, Virunga National Park protects some of the most important ecosystems in Africa. Mountain gorillas move through misty forests on the slopes of nearby volcanoes, while elephants, buffalo, and countless bird species share the park's valleys and wetlands. Rangers and scientists here face a complex challenge. They must conserve biodiversity, support local livelihoods, and monitor one of the world's most active and dangerous volcanoes, all in a region where political and economic pressures are never far away. Nyiragongo is a reminder that our planet is alive from the inside out. Its lava lake shows us convection and fluid dynamics on a scale we can see with our own eyes. Its mazuku gas clouds reveal how invisible forces can shape where people live and how they move. Its eruptions rewrite the map of nearby cities in a matter of hours. Yet, at the same time, its slopes provide rich soil, its forests shelter unique wildlife, and its fiery heart draws travelers, filmmakers, and scientists from around the world. As our journey comes to an end, the camera rises once more above the crater. The lava lake flickers far below, a bright scarlet eye in a dark volcano. Clouds drift across the summit, and the sound of the wind fades into the background. Nyiragongo will continue to change long after we leave, building new layers of rock, releasing new gas clouds, and reminding everyone in its shadow that the ground beneath us is never truly still. If this exploration of Nyiragongo Volcano has sparked your curiosity about the hidden forces shaping our world, don't forget to support the channel. Like this video, share it with friends who love travel and science, and subscribe to Science Meets Adventure, exploring nature's secret, so we can keep discovering more of Earth's wildest, most fascinating places together.